So recently, I have been obsessed with doing a picture, some Photoshop smash ups with water, and this is our end result. This is what I want it to end up as, and it's not quite as hard as I thought, but I haven't really done a video in a long time. But I thought we'd get started. So to deconstruct this, we need a few pieces. We definitely need a picture of somebody. For this one, in this case, we took a bride on a stairwell. We used some good old concrete. Concrete is good as a texture for just about everything. And we have two pictures of waves we're going to use. So we're going to start off with our picture of our model. We'll duplicate our layer. And then we're going to bring in our waves. The reason I like this wave is because it curled around here. So I'm going to do Control A, Control C to copy it and create a new layer and paste in that wave. Now I know it's not the same size, and we're probably not going to use the uh, same piece of it. I'm actually going to flip it. Flip it horizontally because I want this to cascade over her or close to her. So we're going to size it, holding down the shift key and dragging. Now it's probably pretty big, but I'm going to take about that much. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a layer mask. And I'll probably go back later on and just change it more layer masks. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Then I'm going to select the layer mask, select my paintbrush with a pretty big brush tool, make sure my color is black, and just wipe away, especially this edge. Wipe away that edge, any kind of an edge or straight line. Okay, so that's about as much of that one as I want. So I'm going to go to the second one. Same thing, Control A, Control C, go back to my original and create a new layer. Paste that in. Now this is a little bigger, so it's kind of a good thing that it's a little bigger. We can use most of it. And then what I'm going to do is use most of what's on the ground to cover up the model. So I'll add another layer mask, and I'm going to just start erasing the model. And I really wanted this curve, but you notice that the waves really kind of tend uh, to help out in this scenario. Now, what I'm a little worried about is how much of her. Oops, Control Z. Want to make sure I select the right layer. This water, I can drag it down. Probably get. I don't want her totally covered up, but at the same time, I do want a lot of water. So we go back and paint some more. Just from looking at the layer, and I do want to make it look like the waves are crashing um, up against the stairs. I want to make sure she's in there. Here's a little bit too much off of her. We'll probably have to go a little less wave there. And X to change. I switched back to the other waves, and I changed the color to white. I'm going to paint in the waves right here. And I did cover up, Control Z, do that again, covering up the stairs just because I kind of want it to look like the water's hitting her, hitting the stairs. And since it's all pretty random, it's just kind of painting what you want, what you don't want. Okay, so we're really close. We're really close now. So the next step is going to be, if we look at our final product, and there's some groups. I went ahead and added a few other things. Here are the layers of water, and I did a blue layer to tint it to give the water more consistency. So I'm going to add add a new layer, and that layer is going to be, actually I'm not, going to add an adjustment layer, do solid color. I'm going to go to a darker blue, and we'll go to a dark blue, and I'm going to do something like a soft light, which gives me a nice cool tone. I may go to something like overlay, take a look at that. The overlay is a little dark. I can adjust the opacity down, or I can go back to soft light. I think I'll go to soft light and just adjust the opacity up. Okay, so the next step, and this is kind of cool, is because concrete, like I was saying earlier, is really a handy tool. It adds a lot of texture for things that you really don't see. So I'm going to copy that texture, go back. I'm going to add a layer in between the overlay, the color overlay, and one of the waves, and put that concrete in, and I'll just size it to the size of the image, because it doesn't matter if it's distorted or not. And then I'm going to do some type of adjustment like an overlay, and knock down the opacity, so we're really starting to look like we have water. Maybe soft light, it's a little less. It literally looks like water's kind of flying up. And create another layer mask for it, and we're going to get that water off of our subject. I don't want it on her arms, or I want her to be the focal point. So it still looks like water's kind of cascading around. You could add some mist in a minute. But that's pretty much it. We look at our final one. We have got an adjustment layer there that's not really necessary, but we also have a brightness, contrast, and a hue and saturation. Let's go ahead and add those. So we'll do a brightness contrast, and I want to make it a little more contrasty, and a little more brightness to kind of dull it out. And then our hue and saturation layer is going to be to take red and yellow out. We want to take the red and yellow out of the image, because those are skin tones. And I want this to be almost almost dulled. And we'll take some of the cyans, just a little bit of the cyan out of it. Okay, and so that's pretty much it. That's how you add water into a scene so it looks like the water's actually there. I think I like my original version better, but there you have it. Have a good day.